Okay, welcome magic lovers today. The kind of magic that we're going to do is called mentalism. And if those of you who aren't familiar with that, it's using magic illusions, tricks, combined with actual abilities that we all have. And I'll give you an example. Waking hypnosis, psychology, suggestion, extrasensory perception, intuition, body language. So what I'm going to do is try to do two things today. It may not all work, but most of it will, especially the stuff that's not tricks, that's real. Sometimes doesn't, but most of it will, and you're going to see some things today that you probably have never seen before, but it's not scary. There's nothing supernatural. It's all done through these natural methods, but you're going to see things you can't believe can happen. The first thing is psychokinesis, where we're going to try to move objects without touching them. And then we're going to do thought reading, but nothing embarrassing, I promise you. But we're going to try to get into your head to tell what your thoughts are. And that's the fun part. And I was talking before the program about what's so fun about this kind of show when people are this close. Anybody else who wants to come up here in the very front to get a real close view, you're welcome to. The thing is, when people hear music, endorphins take off, dopamine, things in the brain, same with meditation or exercise. Hearing good music, hearing a funny joke, and my favorite, magic. Because there's something in us that when we see something that just can't be, and yet we're seeing it, it's a sense of wonder that opens us up to there's more in this universe than we can possibly comprehend, and that's the fun part. Now, would you watch that pen very closely? And we're going to see if we can find some invisible. There's no strings or anything. I don't use that kind of stuff. Just watch the pen very closely. Energy. Wow, it did move. I don't. Yeah. We're going to do a nail next. I've got a thing here that's a little rubber tube I'm going to have someone examine. Would you take a look through there and see that there's nothing in the tube? It acts as a tunnel. Yeah. And would you feel this solid nail? Just squeeze it to show that it is very solid.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, it's not a plastic. It is solid steel. And this is what they pound into 2x4s. Now, if I put it in the invisible tunnel, and we use our imagination. Remember in Peter Pan, when you were a child, there was a part where they had nothing to eat until they imagined food in front of them. And then it became a reality. Their food was there. So let's imagine that the molecular structure of that solid steel is changing, and the molecules are changing, and now it's like hot, soft, melted butter. Now watch both ends of the spike. Because if it's like hot, soft, melted butter, it might start bending very easily. It's no longer solid steel. It is just hot, soft, melted butter. And after it bends like that, all we have to do is stop thinking like that, and it's solid again. As soon as we do it. Thank you. Here's the fun part. In Canada, in the 60s, they had a group of people that they had a Philip meeting, they called it. And this is all done in fun. They'd sit around a desk for an hour or two every week for 2 years and imagine a character. The first person they thought of was, I said, let's make it 500 years ago, medieval times. And the other guy, they all had their input. The other one said, how about we call this guy Philip? And they invented, there's no such Philip. Let's make him have a long beard. Let's have a twinkle in his eye. And they invented this whole character. But after 2 years, one day, they actually saw a figure that looked like Philip. It can't be Philip. There's no Philip. They thought it was group hallucination. Others thought there was some type of energy released that wasn't real, but it wasn't unreal. It was like in between, where reality and unreality overlap. We're going to do a Philip experiment here today for fun. And it's not going to be Philip, it's going to be somebody else. And we have someone in the back, Sapphire, I asked her to think of someone's name. Not yet, but later on we're going to see if we can pick up that name and see if they can help us with this energy stuff. So here's the first thing that happened. They were sitting at the counter, all of a sudden the door opened, and there's no draft in that building. This is real. And they ran out to see if a practical joker was there. There was nobody there. No way anyone could have opened the door. And this is a copy of the skeleton key that they used. Let's see here. Would you like to examine that? There's nothing physically different about the key, but it has supposedly mystical properties, even though it's a copy. Now, some people actually believe that this key has an energy that wherever it goes, it will open a door. Others think it's the power of our mind, but I can assure you this is something you're seeing that is no trick. This is either some energy or it's mind power. People in the first row are going to get a good look at this, and if you can verify for anyone that can't see what's going to happen. This key that's been examined, notice there's no strings here, no wires. I am not going to tilt my hand, because then it would turn, and I'm not going to move a muscle. But let's just think, turn, open the door. Open the door, please. What's happening to the key? Can you tell people?
Oh, it's turning.
Look at that. I wish everyone could see that. Open the door. There's no wires here. No strings.
Wow.
It stopped. Well, then tell it to open the door.
Open the door. Wow.
And there's nothing there. Thank you. The next thing that happened is they were sitting there and they had a tablecloth. Oh, good. We got someone with a better view here. They had a tablecloth there, and they were sitting, and the tablecloth started rising up when they hummed, because there was a vibrational level that helped the energy. Now, you can see there's nothing physically there, no wires or any kind of thing like that. But, if they hum, like, Philip would reveal himself, or the energy. You're not Philip, but you're here, aren't you? Yeah. So I don't know how that. I need a helper for the mic. But for those people that get worried about ghosts, I can assure you that's not a ghost, but it sure is a mystery. Has anybody ever been to a mystery spot in Michigan or anywhere in the country? Did you did you see when they had the tennis ball roll uphill and you walked up the wall? Because they built it on a hill on a slant, and then they fool you by the way the walls and the ceilings and the floors are tilted. So by the time you get into the second room, you really think you're walking up a wall. But there's more to the mystery spot than just the way that's built. Strange things have happened there that are similar to the Philip experiment. Now we're going to, at this time, ask Sapphire to tell us, or don't say the name yet, but can you assure everyone that you have not told me or anyone the name of the person that you've been thinking of? I have not. Okay, and we're not in on this at all, or rearranged. So only Sapphire knows the name of the person. And it's not Philip, because I told her don't do Philip. But it's the same principle. A long time ago, in the spiritualist days, over a century ago, there were fake mediums that used to get messages they pretended from the beyond and put it on a slate. You don't need to do that. You could have slate writing from energy, as they found out with Philip. Suddenly, after the cloth rose up and the door opened, they actually saw this image, and then they saw writing appear on the board, right in front of their eyes. There was nothing on the blackboard. It's like an old schoolhouse buildings where they had a blackboard. And suddenly it says, "Hi, I'm Philip, I'm here." And they thought, wow. But none of them believed this was a ghost because they made up Philip. There is no Philip. So we're going to try that. I have 2 blank slates here. As you can all see that they're blank on both sides. This is going to represent the blackboard that the kids have in school and the one that they had with Philip. Now I'm going to lock it in place. These are locking slates that lock so no human agency could possibly get inside here to write anything. And I'm not going to touch the surface with this chalk. Instead, I'm going to go like this to make like an energy field of chalk to let the energy give us a message. For the first time, Sapphire, would you please say who you've been thinking of and say out loud, "Are you here?" and then their name. What? Say the name out loud you've been thinking of. Mary. Mary? Yes. And you're asking if Mary is here? Let's look at the blank slate. Some of you heard the faint sound of chalk. I know you did. What does that say? I'm here, Mary. And no one knew but Sapphire what that was. Thank you for helping, Sapphire. I couldn't have done it without her, but she was not in on this. Next, we're going to do some thought reading. Try to get into your heads a little bit. Who would like to participate? Would you like to look through these magazines briefly just to verify they are what they appear to be, magazines from about a year ago from the newsstand? Okay, would you hand me just one of them, please? Okay, because we're only going to use one, but I wanted you to look through all of them. Now, when my back is turned, I normally don't do that to an audience, but I have to, since I don't want to see what you're looking at. I'm going to turn my back and have you open the magazine to any page you'd like, and don't tell anyone what page you're looking at. And when you've found a page, look at any paragraph you'd like. And then look at any group of words. And then think of one of those words. To make it interesting, make it a big word, 7 letters or more, like multisyllable. And when you've thought of that word and memorized it, where you know you'll remember it, close the magazine, because we won't need it anymore. The word will be in your head. All set? So now, only one person knows that word. And I'm going to see if I can pick up on it. Would you just mentally, without moving your lips, think of the first letter and then mentally send it. Just pretend you're beaming the letter out to me. And you're doing a good job of not sub-vocalizing. Some people sort of move their lips, and I can pick up the word that way, and you're good. You're not doing that. You're just doing it mentally. Okay, let me write. I think this is it. I'm not sure. What was the first letter? I want to see if I'm right. Pardon? P. Okay. Oh, good. Now I'm going to get the second letter. Go ahead and mentally send the second one. Okay. Just a second. I don't think that one. That's it. Second letter. By any chance was the second letter an O? Okay. Keep sending all of them. I think I'm getting them. Send all the letters. Just a minute. Just a minute. Keep thinking. This is difficult because only you know the word in your head. Okay. I think we've got it. Would you tell everyone for the first time that the word you've been thinking of? Just a minute. Go ahead. Possibility. Can everybody see what I wrote on here? Possibilities. Thank you for helping. He did a good job of disguising his thoughts, but I still picked up on it, and that was fun. Now we're going to have someone else help out. If I picked a word, we're going to see if I can get a shape. Janet, would you like to look at these symbols and notice that they're all different shapes? There's a couple dozen. Because if I said to you, just pick any kind of symbol, you might think circle or something I could guess. But with these random choices, there's no way to know. I'm going to mix them up because you saw what those were. And I want you to have a free choice. So we'll mix them all up so there's no way you know what you're getting. Just touch any one of those that you'd like and change your mind or keep that. Don't let me see it. Okay. Janet's thinking of a shape now. Don't ever, you can look at it so you can visualize it, but don't show it to anybody because I want you to be the only one to know what it is. Okay. Can you picture it in your mind? Okay. Sometimes shapes are harder than words. You're picturing it pretty good. Now, I'm not an artist, so this may not be, the exact picture, but I'm hoping to sketch it enough that you will know if I picked up the idea or not. Okay, I think I've got it among all those shapes. Would you show everyone the shape that you were thinking of so they can all see it? And I'll show everybody too. Okay, that one I did not get properly. As I told you, they don't always work. So we're going to do it again because I came close, but not close enough. And I'd like to get closer than that. I'll tell you what I will do, though, to make it even better. We're going to try an experiment where I can put an idea in your head without you knowing it. Who would like to volunteer for that? Okay. Oh, you want to do it again? Okay. All we need now is to borrow a bill. A dollar bill would be fine. And you'll get it back, so don't worry about it.
Hey, this is good enough.
No. What I'm going to do is take my keys and place them here in front of everybody so that you know that I'm not going to touch them until we're done. And they're going to be in full view the whole time. How would you like to volunteer? Your name for everybody?
My name?
Yeah.
Grace.
Grace, would you like to help in this?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can mentally cause you to place each item where I want them to be without saying a word. And we'll see what happens. And the first thing, we have a coin and a card and a bill. The first thing you do is take your hand and move them over like this. And whenever you decide to stop, you could put it in your pocket somewhere, one of those items. And I'm going to cause you to put the item in your pocket that I want you to put. And you think it's a free choice. It feels free, like you're going to pick what you want, but I'm going to cause you to put that in your pocket. But I caused you to put the coin in your pocket. But I don't expect you to believe that yet. You could change your mind if you'd like to. You want to keep the coin or, okay? Now, the next choice is place a card in your hand and give me the bill, or you can take the bill and give me the card. It's your choice. Free choice, apparently, but not really, because I'm causing you to put them where you want. I'm causing you to put them where I want you to put them, as you'll see. I already got the coin in your pocket. People say, how could you possibly put the coin in the pocket? And then you're giving me the bill. Well, I took it, but he's going to get it back. Okay, now, has everybody noticed that my keys have been there the whole time? Not touched them? And I usually keep a picture of my wife, Anita, in there, but since it's magic here, I'm put a prediction in there. Now, I cannot predict the future. So the only way the prediction can match where you put items is if I mentally put it in your head where to put each thing, which seems incredible. But you put the coin in your pocket. Is there any way I could have known that? Not really, is there? But take a look at this. I can't read it. Let me see. Can't read the thing. Oh, here we go. Still can't read it. What do you do when it's not legible? Do you do it again, or do you just, you know what? This has always worked, but I can't see it. Well, maybe you could read it. I'm going to have you read it because I have a hard time. Would you read that out loud?
Oh, gosh, I think it's small.
Or we'll have someone else. That's why I was having a hard time.
Have it down.
The first line? Or we can get someone else to read it.
Committed myself.
Yeah, you committed yourself because you placed every item where you wanted, and you could change your mind, and then it was the final choice where everything was to be. Read the next line.
Pocket has the coin.
Pocket has the coin. Does it?
Uh-huh.
Then what does it say?
I have the bill, and you have where's that card?
That's right. The pocket has the coin, I have the bill, and you have the card. How did I know the coin was in your pocket? Isn't that fun? You know, they can do that with subliminal advertising too. In advertising, they can get you to buy a product without you even wanting to. And here's how they do that. With verbal cues. This won't be mental. This will just be what advertisers do. What you have to do is simply say out loud, you can do this one, say with me, for one to end, one must begin.
For one to end, they must begin.
One must begin.
One must begin.
One
For
more.
one to end,
One must begin. Okay, one more time. For one to end, one must. Just like TV bombardment, you don't realize you've just been influenced. Circle any one of those numbers without thinking. Okay? The words were coded. As you know, the numbers were words and the words were numbers. For 1, 2 at the end was what I was planning in her mind. For 1, 2 at the end. And she circled 2 at the end. Now, subliminal advertising doesn't work if you have a filter in your mind to filter it out. But if you're open to something, they can influence you. They used to do movies in the 50s where they said, eat popcorn, get popcorn. They'd flash it on the screen so fast. And some people actually had more popcorn sales. And then later, they did this in different stores to prevent theft. They'd go, don't steal. It's just below the level where you could hear it. And thefts went down. Then they did self-improvement tapes where, you know, you can improve concentration and all kinds of things while they slept. But it doesn't always work. It all depends on whether you're open or susceptible to it. It's a good thing, otherwise they could make us buy everything they wanted to. But as you just see how easy it is to be influenced just by the right wording of something. Now next, we'll do some waking hypnosis, I call it. And this one is pretty cool if it works. We'll get, would you like to do this one? Would you like to squeeze that deck in one hand, okay? Okay, give me the deck back and hold on to it a little longer, as if by listening to my words you become stuck temporarily and unable to let go of the deck. You can let go now, everything's back to normal now, thank you. Now would you just think of a card. I've turned one face down in this deck. I'll put it right here, I'm not gonna mess with it. I've already turned one card face down in the face-up deck. It's the only card face down. So what I'm gonna do is, since I know what it is, I'm gonna put it in your head without saying any cards. I'm not gonna say any of the 52 cards, I'm just gonna picture it and see if I can get it into your head. I got a 1 out of 52 chances by guessing, so it's gotta be more than guessing. I don't know what it is, but you could tell everybody and then we'll see. What was your card that you were thinking of?
Well, I thought of the card before you gave me the instructions.
Right. Did you change your mind then on the card? You kept the same card.
You want me to say it?
You can say it to everybody.
Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades. Well, the deck's been sitting there. I'd like you to see something. Right on top of the deck, there's one card face down, and it's the only one in the deck. Wouldn't that be something if I projected that into your head? You said Ace of Spades?
That would be unbelievable.
It is the ace of spades. And that's the fun one, isn't it, though? It just shows you that you can have thoughts put in your head. Now, the last thing here that we're going to do right now, except I'll stay a little longer for those that want an extra couple things, but this don't ever do at home or anywhere because it's dangerous and it's not fake. It is real. And magicians have been severely injured doing this because it's not a rubber thing. Feel how sharp, don't hurt your finger.
You can see it's pretty pointy.
Oh, that could go right through your hand, and it's not a trick thing. It's an experiment that I like to do. My wife probably is going to leave the room. She doesn't want to see me smash myself. Would you please, when my back is turned, put cups over each one of those and then move them around so that nobody knows where that spike is.
Okay.
It's okay if you know, or people sitting in the front, but I don't want to know, or anyone back there. And when you're done moving them around, keep them a little bit apart, just like that, a few inches, and then I'll come back. So put any cup over any one of those. I save this near the end because if it fails, then I don't have a hand anymore to do the rest of the stuff. If you do it first and it doesn't work, then there's nothing else. Okay. Don't give me any clues, anybody. If anybody knows where the spike is, don't. Oh, good, because that could throw me off because some people, if I start to smash down with my hand on where the spike is, they'll sort of go like that, and I can see that and know not to hit there. So don't give me any clues if anyone knows where it is. Whew. Oops. That fell off. And I hope that's got to be the one. Otherwise, it'd be bad. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm glad you could come today. For anyone that wants to stay a few minutes later for just a one-on-one or one-on-two, a couple more things, I'll be happy to show you. But thanks, everybody, for coming. Thank you. Yep. Oh, I'm glad that didn't hit. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't, that's a nervous one, I'll tell you. That's the only one I'm concerned about when I do something. Because the others, if it doesn't work, then you just don't get the word right, you know, like possibilities that he was thinking. But if this isn't right, that really goes through your hand. In fact, the Magicians Union have told us to stop doing this thing, and I might have to stop